Hello, hello. My name is Nirankar, and this is our Superfood Social on March 26th. We are coming together to share something that is near and dear to my heart for many, many reasons. Um, and we want to share an opportunity, frankly. And there's many layers to this opportunity. And I am grateful to be here with a business partner and friend. Um, Rajni, would you like to say hello? I'm going to pin you here as well.
Hi, I just realized, I still have this space background from another meeting and I didn't take time to, so you get to see me floating in space during the
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah,
Um, I'm pretty grounded though. I'm a grounded person and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to share these products, these superfoods, and this amazing business and amazing community that is transforming my life on so many levels. I'm so grateful. And yeah, I'm just happy to answer questions and be part of this
great.
continuing forward.
Well, I would love to start by saying that we call this a superfood social, but what I've realized over the past 2 days, actually, I mean, I've been in this community for over 3 years. In November of 2021, I was introduced to these products, and I've been exploring them, the company, the model, the community for 3+ years. And I really want some of you out there or seeing this recording know a little bit about me. I have been in the health and wellness industry for as long as I can remember. When I was little, I was always my mom wouldn't let us, have sugar, and I was the weird one in my friends, like, oh, you're bringing wheat cookies and not white cookies. And like my whole life, I've been immersed in wellness and health. And then I went on to school to become an exercise physiologist, went into the healthcare business, was in healthcare for 25, 30 years, tried so hard to fix it from the inside out. Some of you here know exactly what I mean. And I exhausted myself in the process. And so when I left healthcare, I felt so unnourished and so drained and so depleted, and that I just needed to do something else to try and have an effect on people's health and wellness. I was always curious about herbs and alternative medicine, which I don't really like to use anymore. I was always so interested in different ways of looking at health. And I never really found my people in the healthcare world. And then when I got out of the healthcare world, I opened my own business. I'm going to go ahead, Rajni. I opened my own business as a health and wellness coach. And I'm calling now, I really see it as a nature and nourishment guide. My deepest love is to help women return to their truest, deepest, healthiest, most authentic nature, true to their own natural cycles and their own natural rhythms. And when I started my business, I realized women are so undernourished, taking care of everyone else, and really pouring out our hearts to those around us and to those that we love. And in some cases, going into business or industries that are very caring. And because you really really care, that was really how I am. I really care about people's health and people's wellness. And then someone introduced me in my at that time in my business, someone introduced me to these superfoods. And at the it was one of those things where, well, I don't know about superfoods. Like, what are they, just shakes? Are they just powders? Why would I need that? I eat really well. I'm pretty healthy. I've been in this industry for a long time. I love real food. Like, I don't really know if this is right for me. And I thought about it and kind of read a little bit about the company and was invited to some events like this. And I was like, maybe I'll give it a try. And I was really surprised, totally surprised at the energy, foundational wellness that I felt. And so I'm going to pause right now and invite Rajni to, if you have anything to kind of bounce off what I've said, anything to share. And I want to welcome uh, Terea here today, and so glad you can be here.
Well, thank you, Nirankar. Yeah, I didn't hear all those aspects of your story before, and it did kind of remind me that I was pretty blessed to be one of those people that was introduced to health and wellness at a pretty early age too. My mom was very physically active, and growing up in high school, my dad had high blood pressure, so she was definitely feeding us healthy food. We had no junk food in our house. I used to go to my neighbors to get the junk food. So yeah, it was pretty it was ingrained in me. And I had my career path took different routes. I was um, more into recreation and helping people just to feel good in their bodies and to enjoy their whatever it is that they were passionate about and provide opportunities. And I work with kids, but um, yeah, I but then when I got involved with yoga, that mindfulness practice really brought me into deeper awareness about myself and what was missing in my life, and how to improve and on all levels, on not just the physical level, because at an emotional level they're so interconnected. So when I got to the point of trying these foods, these superfoods, it was, on a physical level that I was looking for assistance with, support and nourishment from. But I do feel how it's affecting every level of my being. So it's really exciting to get way more than I ever expected from this whole thing.
Yeah, it's kind of it's really a package.
Yeah.
And the reason I want to explain what I mean by that right now is that there's sure there are the products. There's this incredible company behind the products. There are two owners behind the company, and the owners themselves are actually supported by a whole farming industry and network. And so there's this cascade, almost this like sense of pyramid, that the foundation of the company is really in regenerative soil and regenerative farming. And that's really the base. But even underneath that is this real desire to make a difference on the planet, a mission to help people, just our planet be more healthy, and therefore try and have an effect on our practices as humans. And so this regenerative foundation is really a beautiful place for a company to begin, because there are so many companies out there right now who don't really have this in mind, from the growing techniques to the shipping techniques to the purity of product to the delivery model, which is, I believe, they're spreading the products in a delivery model that is so regenerative, actually, to our culture. It gives so much more opportunity in the ways that these products are distributed. And so I'm just going to pause. Rajni, any kind of rebound to that? I would love to back up a minute and do and pause. But yeah, anything else that you want to bounce off of?
Not in that moment. I'd like to kind of come back to some of our, usual practices, um, and and then hear from everybody a little bit of where they're at and what they're looking to learn, and to make sure that we're sort of focused on that. So I don't, I mean, yes, there's lots of layers and levels of how everything works together in the company that is supporting our health, the community health, and the planet, which is added bonus to me.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. Um, so Rajni and I tend to start these calls with a bit of mindfulness and getting into our body. And so I want to just take a moment. I know each of us are in different places here, but just take one small moment, if it feels right to you, to slow down. If you're buzzing around doing other things, just take a minute to take a deep breath and settle into your breathing, into those places that your breathing expands within you, noticing, pausing, connecting, just slowing down, noticing how just with a few deep breaths, you can feel a bit more nourished, more present. And know that this connection with your body is such a brilliant place to make decisions. We're not really taught to listen to the language of our body, but your body speaks the most beautiful language. It is uniquely yours. There's no other body on the planet that speaks this language. And you are, in fact, the only one who can effectively translate it. You can have really beautiful, supportive help from a lot of people, but you're designed to be in the driver's seat. You're designed to decide what feels right for you by learning this language of your body. Beautiful. And so welcome if you just joined. I'd love to take a moment to learn a little bit. And Rajni, you said you had a question for everyone. So
Yeah, thank you so much for that beautiful centering. Oh, I love that. I just did a Facebook Live about that, how important that is. And it just, oh, can you guys feel that? Like how just everything just dropped, So it's such a great, you're so good at modeling that. So thank you so much. Oh, Evu is having trouble with the sound. I'm not sure. Do you have any ideas about how to help her with the sound, Nirankar?
If you're on a laptop, Evu, you can hit that little arrow next to the mute button and see if you can figure out what sound you're using in your computer. And if you jump off and jump back on again, then maybe that will help you choose a different choice in terms of sound. Otherwise, it's hard to know. But oh, go ahead. It looks like you've unmuted yourself, so maybe can we hear you?
Well, this might be a good opportunity. So I'd like us just for a moment or two to go around and introduce ourselves. Just say your name, where you live, and maybe and tell us, what you're hoping to learn tonight. If there's some, burning topic, there's some specific thing that you're hoping to learn, just let us know what it is so we can make sure we weave it in to what we want to share.
Yeah, if there's something that you're really curious about, then please make sure you let us know. I'll just start by saying my
Okay.
name is Nirankar, and I'm calling in from southern New Hampshire.
I guess I'll go next. I'm Trinity and I'm from Kansas and I'm just really excited to learn everything. I'm really into healthy eating. I started eating very healthy about 3 years ago, so I'm excited to learn everything and anything.
Beautiful. Welcome.
So shall I say hi?
Sure.
I'm Terea. I live in Hot Springs, South Dakota, but from the Pacific Northwest. And I think I'm on day 5 of the first month. And question would be, it just amazes me when I look to see, well, how much sugar, because I really have to be limited in my sugar because I'm very affected by it. And the shakes are so sweet. I mean, I've just never had anything so sweet. I don't really drink juice, fruit juice, stuff like that. And I look and it's super low on the carbs and sugars and how many sugars are in the carbs. And it amazes me how it can be that sweet and delicious without it being bad for my blood sugar, right? How do they make it so sweet? Just even the fruit sugars, usually I avoid fruit because of fruit sugars.
Well, interesting. We will definitely cover that, Terea.
Good.
Thanks for asking. Yeah. Anybody else?
Hi, I'm Karen. I live in Amherst, New Hampshire, and I'm a women's health nurse practitioner who is always here to support women. So I feel like I'm pretty solid on the health stuff, but I'm always willing to learn more. So that's why I'm here.
Beautiful. Glad you're here, Karen.
I also just got out of work, so I'm running around doing stuff because I work a long day.
Yeah, you do work long days.
Yeah, so that's why I'm on mute and hidden, uncameraed, whatever.
Yeah.
Video off.
Yeah, no problem. So Evu, can we hear you or can you hear us yet? Oh, okay, great. You can hear us. Beautiful. Well, no pressure to share anything about why you're here or any specific questions, but if you do, feel free to share by unmuting yourself or in the chat.
My name is Maxine. I'm in Nebraska, and I have a long history of a very sensitive body, and I I'm always looking for bigger, better, and also detoxing is everything. You have to have your elimination system ready for it and have enough energy for that. Um, I understand all those good things, but with my busy lifestyle and taking care of aging parents, I'm looking for it to support myself, but also for them as well. And I'm used to like super blue green algae and different supportive nutritional supplements, homeopathics, flower essences, blah blah blah. The list goes on and on. So some detoxing is pretty intense, and some of it's milder. So I'm interested in seeing there's stages to kind of catch up, and also for those people that just don't have a lot of energy to detox, so it's not just moving it from one place to another.
Beautiful. Yeah, great. Glad you're here, and glad
Thanks
to
for
know.
finding the unmute. So now I know you made it. Woohoo! Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I did rename you. I hope that was okay. I hope I spelled it right.
No, you're fine. What I figured out is I had it plugged into the charger and it wasn't giving me any sound, so that's what it's in my car, so that's why I got it figured out. Thank you.
Beautiful. Well, I would love, Rajni, I'm going to head into a little bit about the company. Sound good? Okay. So I love the diversity of our background here. This sort of thing totally lights me up. And I want to share a bit about why I think this is so unique. And so one of the owners, his name is Dave Sandoval. He has a really beautiful story of how he came to the health and wellness industry. He just really quickly, he's kind of a brilliant man, like has this drive, and he was homeless as a very young boy, and his aunt took him in. And his aunt, he was 18 at the time, and he watched his aunt like live on TV dinners. It was like late 70s, early 80s, during that, I guess, TV dinner time. I remember my grandparents eating them. And so she would microwave her TV dinners, and he just thought that was kind of how you did what you did. And then he watched her health go downhill, and she eventually died of MS. And so he watched that deterioration as a fairly young man. And he was devastated when she died, because she was the only family that he had. I love hearing him tell this story. And so he was like, I want to know why this happened to her. And he just started researching, at that time, different health professionals that were out in the industry, like big names. And at that time, it was like Anne Wegamore and all these, who was very big into sprouting at the time. And so he just poured himself into nutrition, and the body, and how the body can get better nutrition, and our food industry, et cetera, et cetera. And he at one point had this call-in radio show, like in his late 20s or something. He ended up becoming well enough known that in New York, he lived in New York City, and he had this call-in radio show where people would call in with their health questions, and he had become so versed in nutrition and health that people were asking his advice. And so he boiled down, and to hear him tell this story is really pretty cool. He boiled down a lot of the questions that would come into this radio story or show, and he started creating this formula. He started making connections to people in the growing industry, and he created this formula that ended up being what is now called the kamut blend, which is like a mix of 3 grasses, like wheatgrass and something else. I'm not totally remembering what's in the kamut blend. You could probably look it up, Rajni, if you wanted. But so he had this green and he was creating it. So young man, pretty brilliant, just doing this thing, just trying to figure something out. So he created this green juice blend, and then he started personally drinking it and noticing big results. And then he took it to some big show, like a trade show where people with vitamins and health, like a big industry trade show. And the other owner, Amy Venner, was at this trade show, and she was representing some other vitamin company. And he was just trying to get the word out about this grass blend that he was selling. And she was behind the counter, and she had really bad acne. She was in, I guess, her early 20s working for this other company. And he tells this story that he carefronted her and said, I think I have something that could really help your acne. And, at the time he knew that acne was based on digestive health, liver health, and and that these grasses could really help the body. Thank you. So Rajni put the kamut blend in, and it's probably changed over the years, but this is one of the basic products that started this whole company. So anyway, really quickly, he carefronted Amy. They ended up connecting on many levels, getting married, cleared up her skin, and they started sharing this green juice together. And that was 30 years ago. And then it took them a little while to establish. Their original company was Organic by Nature. They started together to lobby the US government to get the organic label into our food system. And so all along, their mission has really been to end human suffering by way of our food system, our financial system, our medical system. And this has been their vehicle for doing it, creating this company. So those were the early beginnings of Purium. And there's so many more stories that I could tell you about why they chose network marketing as their vehicle for getting this out there, and what they have created in a community sense. Dave has amazing land in California where he teaches permaculture, and he works with farmers. So one thing that they've done to grow this company is they have actually purchased, in some cases, and partnered with regenerative farmers. So farmers that are really interested in regenerating the soil. And most of the farms are 150 miles away from any other farms that could infect the seeds with GMO types of products and seedlings. So some of the farms are, yes, go ahead, Rajni.
I just wanted to just mention something in case people didn't know. Why regenerative soils are so important is because the way that farming has evolved over the last 100 years, the soils are completely depleted. There's no nutrition. We're getting very little nutrition from our current agricultural system. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew about regenerative soils and why they were important. Thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you for slowing me down. And please, anytime, just raise your hand, anyone with a question. To build on that, what we are taking in terms of water, air, and food has changed dramatically over the last 20 to 30 years. You know, what my grandparents were eating 30 years ago, and even my parents, is very different from what we're exposed to now. And so in our water system, our air, and our soils have really been influenced by our choice of um, supporting the oil industries. And so the oil industry is what fuels the herbicides, and there's, you know, the scope of this call isn't to go into this, but there is a lot about this part of what's happening to our planet and to the human, to our health, which is why I'm a part of this movement, is that it feels like my way of standing up to the oil industry in the form of toxins, pharmaceuticals, et cetera, et cetera. And so there's a whole force that is very big, that is worth, in my opinion, um, spreading love in the opposite direction. And so that's what I seek to do by speaking about these atrocities and what we can do about it. And so regenerative soil, if we're supporting farmers who are paying attention to what we're eating and what they're putting in on the land that's then seeping into the water and into our air, it's really an important part of the puzzle. And so to support regenerative farming is really important to me personally. And so the products that we sell, the Purium itself is a combination of pure and premium. And so there is a 10-point commitment to purity and quality. So quality and purity are of the utmost importance to the owners, the community, and those of us involved with these products. And so when our food is allowed to soak up the energy of the soil, then we are then able to absorb the energy of the plants. And so it creates this magical cycle that is very regenerative to us and not just the soil. It's regenerative to the earth, and because it's supporting a system that isn't putting toxins into the air, isn't putting toxins into the water, and therefore isn't putting toxins into us. And many of us walking around don't even realize how many more heavy metals, toxins in the form of glyphosate and others that are seeking into our lifestyle and into through our clothes, through our air. And so this is giving the body a way of not just avoiding those things, but beginning to release them at the cellular level by providing so much more energy. And if you have tried these products, at least for me, I can feel how alive they are. If I just have them with water and just drink them and really pay attention, it's as if I'm juicing and I have like really vital juice, and I've added water to it. So I'm going to slow down, give a pause, make sure I'm on the right track, Rajni, and then I'll share this 90-day protocol that I think is extremely nourishing.
Yeah, I agree. There's so much to say about the whole systems, but I'm really excited because we don't have that much time to get into the information about the product, but just know that there's so much more we can share with you, videos and things, if you want to really understand or learn more about it, because it is very important what she was just talking about. So And what makes the difference of why these products work because of all of that,
Yeah.
I believe, you know.
Yeah, I think it is what sets us aside and apart. And those of us who really know the science behind the nutrition, then this is why this is so different, is that it comes from a place of purity. So I'm going to shift gears, talk about this 90-day protocol that supports you from 5 different directions. And so I'm going to talk about 5 specific products that I believe are the best way to start, to kind of get involved, to really feel what this is like in your system. And then I'll just take a few minutes to do that. I'll show you the products on the screen, and then we'll open it up for questions. Sound good? Okay. So let me share my screen and see if I can find. So let's see if this comes up. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is the main page, and I'm going to go to the lifestyle subscription. It's a 90-day program that's extremely nourishing. And there are several different ways to do it. So I'm gonna put that on the screen right there. Move that. Okay. So you can see, is that easy to see? I'm going to expand it a little bit. These are the 5 products. And I'm going to start with this Biomedic right here. So this is only a couple of years old, maybe 4 or 5 years old, and it was created by Dave, formulated a group of herbs that are pulling glyphosate out of the system. There is a small study that has been done that it pulls 74% of glyphosate out of your system in 6 weeks. And it also reduces your C-reactive protein by 75%. So it is healing to the gut wall. It is the only product on the market that has been certified by the Detox Project, which is a nonprofit organization out of the UK that is designed to fight against the toxins going into our environment. And so Biomedic is I think, the main product of this process, one of the main products, because it is a prebiotic, probiotic that is helping your gut microbiome regenerate itself. And so this is one of the 5 products that you would add into your lifestyle to support you in a very cohesive way. Like all these 5 products work together. And so the next product I want to share is the super aminos. So we've recently heard a couple of over the years, Dave has shared with there was another formulator, a physician, that helped him formulate these amino acids. They are non-soy legume based, and they're broken down to this very simple formula that nearly bypasses the entire digestive process and is accessible to your muscles in 23 minutes. So your body can uptake these amino acids and make them very bioavailable quickly. And there are amazing stories about what these have done. They're actually on the physician's desk reference. They've been used in medical settings to help people who can't move, that are wasting, their muscles are deteriorating, and they've been used to generate muscle. So these build lean muscle. They help the body to burn fat, unhealthy fat. And then another piece of the puzzle here are these shakes. And so there are there are actually 3 different varieties with then 2 other flavors. And these shakes are the greens, and in some cases what Terea was speaking about, that they are naturally sweet. I was surprised at their sweetness too. And they are very alkalinizing to the body. So if, there are parts of our body that we want to be acidic, but our blood isn't one of them. And so these greens are very alkalinizing to the system. They are allowed to grow to their peak ripeness. Then they're juiced and dehydrated right at the farm. They are packed with, in some cases, greens, in some cases, fruits, and in some cases, sprouted grains. And so they're very nourishing. They taste great. And the quality there's nothing synthetic. There's no added sugar. There are natural sweeteners. There's monk fruit in one. There's some stevia in another. So there are some natural sweeteners added, but mostly it's just the sweetening of the plants themselves. And the 4th product I want to share with you is this apothecary. So this is just tart cherry juice. It is taken at night typically. You can take it during the day. That's no problem. You can even take it in the morning because it creates peristalsis. So if you're ready to let go of coffee on this program, then it can help your digestive system activate, but it is just simply concentrated tart cherry juice. And if you're curious about the health benefits of tart cherry, you can look it up. They're multiple. It has naturally occurring melatonin, so it's exceptional for helping us sleep deeply. And then the 5th product is a parasite cleanse. It has herbs that we are all familiar with, like walnut hull and clove, to eliminate parasites from our colon wall. So you take it 10 days into the program for 10 days, you wait 20 days, and then you take it again to help eliminate parasites from your digestive system. And so I'm going to stop my share and open this up for questions and see if I forgot anything. Rajni, any?
No, I don't think you forgot anything. I mean, wouldn't mind if we could put it back on the screen if people want to look at things more deeply or have questions. We can also send you like product ingredients and things like that. One thing I just wanted to comment about, because it's kind of something that Maxine brought up, and I've heard a couple of my customers like shy away, because I mean, the program is meant to detoxify and nourish, but the detox, in my opinion and my personal experience, is a very gentle. This is not like something that, like, sometimes people I've noticed are like a little scared. They feel like it's like, I think what you mentioned, Maxine, is it going to be an intense? I have done intense detox where you don't eat food and you're just doing these herbs, and it was very intense for me. This is the most gentle detoxing I've ever experienced, because it's not like you don't eat. I mean, you can use the shakes as a replacement meal, but if you want to add food, you can add food to the shakes. You can add fruits and vegetables. You can have snacks throughout the day, and then there's one meal that you can make. So I think everyone can design, and we can help you design a program with these products that specifically can help you, depending on like how quickly. I know for you, Trinity, you're interested in losing weight. That you already mentioned that to me personally. So I mean, I'm sorry if you didn't want me to share that, but if it's something, what I noticed with like with weight loss is that it does help if you stick to the food protocol that is recommended. There's some flex foods that we can share with you. So again, there's a whole range of what you can do and how you do it. And the foundation is these products that are effective and nourishing in a gentle way. It's not an extreme process.
Yeah, they work by alkalinizing the system and helping the liver rest and detoxify itself. And so then once, and I think they also help at a cellular level. When the cells are nourished, it's real food, so the body knows exactly what to do with it. And so when the cells are nourished at the cellular level, the mitochondria are able to receive across the cell wall a bit differently. There's chlorophyll that are filling our bloodstream. There's so much more accessible to our system that then it's a natural release that, again, I have done intense cleanses. This is nothing like that. It's like for a busy person on the go, it feels so good, and you don't have to do these intense cleanses. It actually feels a bit more like lifestyle you're creating a new lifestyle. It's something you can stick with. It's really something that can support you instead of something you do and then it's intense on your body, and then you go back to eating the way you were. This is really allows you to think differently, move differently, feel differently, and it's a full lifestyle transformation. That's really what it feels like to me. So I'm gonna just be quiet and open it up for questions. I know Tareya already asked her question, and we can kind of dive a little deeper into that. But let's see what other questions there are out there, and then we can put an ingredient list up there and start to really look at why this might feel sweet to you. Any other questions?
I was trained as a naturopath, and we always asked why certain bodies, are responding in different ways. But I know through my health different crises, one was Lyme's, by the way, that getting the body ready to detox was really important. And if you're working on parasites, you don't feed the parasites first. You work on getting rid of the parasites and then you feed the body. But of course, you can't starve in the meantime. So it's kind of like, how do you balance all those things out? So I'm curious if you can take some of the products some of the time, if or if it's mostly a recipe as a package kind of thing, or what flexibility do we have?
Great question. It is totally customizable, and there's 65 products total. So with someone like Karen, Maxine, with your health background or your science and medical background, it would be really fun to look at the ingredient list with you, show you the herbs, really get like nerdy on the formulations so that you could really understand what was behind the formulations. Because I really hear you that the body needs to be prepared to release. And I think that the pathways that because this is real food, there's nothing that the body doesn't really know what to do with in terms of speeding things up. So it would be fun to look at. So yes, you can customize it. Yes, you can take some products and not others. And there's there's packages that have no grains in them. If you're really knowing that someone needs to stay totally away from grains, then there are packages that do that. And there's a lot of other products, but for the general population, these 5 products begin to support the body to do like this ship turnaround. It's like this large ship that's been going in one direction and may need a gentle turnaround. And I think that this provides the nourishment and the support for the system to begin to open up detox pathways. We work with a lot of regenerative health specialists that use these products in their practice, and also other medical professionals that then start to support people slowly with kind of an underlying nourishment and then the body starts to really know what to do. So I hope that answered your question.
I was blissed out of my nerdum, so you did a great job.
I just wanted to add too, again, how the program is designed, if you did the whole ULT, is that there is that space of 10 days before the parasite cleanse. And the parasite cleanse itself, I've had Lyme too. So we can talk further about that. There's some different protocols that they recommend for that. But yeah, the parasite cleanse, I didn't notice anything different in my body when I was using that, but it wasn't like you're doing it right off the bat. There is that time built in, and then there's that pause for 20 days, like you said. And the second round is just in case there were eggs that we hatch, because a lot of us have parasites and we don't even realize it. They can sometimes be causing some of these underlying issues, and we're not aware, because we can get it from so many different places, our pets, or the earth, the water, so yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Great. Well, if there aren't any other questions, I would love to bring up an ingredient list.
I wondered, when you're saying parasites, does that include candida? Or is that a different thing?
Candida would be considered kind of a different thing.
Yeah, because that's something I have serious battle with. So
Parasites are anything that feed on the body, and so it depends on how you define it. And that can mean your 40-year-old child that's still living at home. So I include yeast, mold, fungus as a parasite, but you do definitely take it differently. And there's versus a large or a small, or the tiny and micro. So there's different sizes and different ways to approach all of those. But it's a very good question. I hate to be a nerd again.
No problem. I think that also with Candida torreya and any of these other viruses, mold, heavy metals, all of these things that Maxine's bringing up, that this lifestyle begins to help the body to alkalinize, to begin to change the internal space that allows those things to thrive. So if you begin to follow the lifestyle, then naturally there'll be a rebalancing of your chemistry. And so that rebalancing of your chemistry will start to help your body be nourished to the point where it begins to change. Your thinking starts to change. So you're reaching for different things. Your vibration, because your thinking is changing, your vibration is changing. So it really is a full body transformation. And so Candida, something like Candida, if your stress level is changing, then the hormones that are circulating that may be feeding the Candida may start to, so it creates a whole chemistry rebalance.
You must have read my mind because I didn't say heavy metals, but they are usually a huge factor in candida because candida acts like a Pac-Man for heavy metals. And you have to go back to why is the body having it? And so if there's heavy metals or light metals acting like heavy metals, then usually candida is part of the scene. But again, digestion is everything. And so is elimination.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. And so part of what we love to educate about in this community is how else are we getting heavy metals into our system? So what are you cooking on? What's in your water? What are you wearing? You know, are you wearing plastics that are leaking into your skin? So it's really, we could really geek out on on the whole lifestyle, and all of these things are playing a role in what your body is how your body is able to balance itself and nourish itself and heal itself, and so it's really fun. I adore this conversation, and I'm so excited to have people to geek out with. All right. So should we look at an ingredient list? I mean, I know that, so maybe we close the recording, and then if those of you who are, you know, busy after work and you're like, okay, I've had enough, we'll contact later, then you can do that. And then those of you who have a bit more space, I'm happy to stay on. So any other good? Yeah, sound good? Beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to hear us. I really feel so strongly in this mission, and I want to educate everyone out there about these aspects of our health. And if you're jumping off this call or seeing the replay and you're interested in this mission, let us know. If you want to try the products, please let us know. If you want to learn more about the business, please let us know. Rajni and I are here for you, and there is a huge community of other health warriors out there that are backing us up. So much love. Take good care. Bye-bye.
Blessings.
Thank you. I'm gonna head out. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Karen.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.